Hey everyone, it's Julie. Today we'll be making stuffed potatoes. They are stuffed with delicious ground beef. They are crispy on the outside, they are delicious on the inside. You guys are going to love them. So let's get started. So I used about 10 medium-sized potatoes. I peeled them and I cut them into quarters like that. I placed them in a pot with cold water. You always want to cook your potatoes in cold water. If you place them in boiling water, they will not cook evenly. And I cooked them for about 25 minutes. I placed them in a colander and poured some cold water over them. You want to hit them with cold water so they stop cooking. And I like to mash them right away. I have a little story about that. I was a big procrastinator in my teenage years, still am. And I remember I wanted to make mashed potatoes, so I boiled them and I took them out of the water, but I didn't feel like mashing them and seasoning them right away, so I left them there, and about an hour later when I went to go mash them, they were unmashable. Very hard to mash cold potatoes, so mash them while they're hot. Alright, so you want to season them with salt and pepper to your liking, of course. Make sure to taste it. I know that's obvious, but you never know. Stir everything, and then we're going to add 1 egg. No butter, no heavy cream, although you can get fancy and throw in some chives. That'd be nice. Now for our filling, I'm using ground beef. Can you use ground turkey? Sure, why not? I feel like that beef was crying for help. Go ahead and break up your beef. You don't want beef chunks. Well, I don't like ground beef chunks. We're going to brown it completely, and I like to strain my beef. You may do so with a ladle, but I just placed it in a strainer. Like that I could saute my onions, pepper, and garlic much nicer. There's just something about throwing raw onions and peppers into the beef that I just don't like. I feel like they don't saute as well as they do when they are sauteing by themselves. Does that make sense? Good. Go ahead and stir them. Add your fresh garlic. So altogether, I sauteed the onions and peppers for about 4 minutes or until the onions were translucent. Then I threw in the garlic and cooked it for an additional 20 seconds. I threw the beef back in and I'm going to season it with some of my favorite spices, which include garlic powder, chili powder, oregano, cumin, and a little bit of sazon. I always season ground beef this way. This is not authentic Cuban picadillo. This is not how my mother or grandmother do it. I have my own style. They have their own style. And in case you're wondering, Cuban picadillo is just ground beef cooked with onions and peppers, tomato sauce, wine. Exactly what I'm doing right now, except I never follow traditional recipes to a T. Okay, so I seasoned the beef with some salt and pepper, of course, a little bit of tomato paste, some dry white wine. And now that I notice, those green peppers look huge and ugly, but they didn't look like that in person, I promise. My little niece would throw a fit. I poured some tomato sauce, a little bit of water, and right here you're probably thinking, no way. Yes way. Raisins and ground beef is delicious. If you like sweet and salty mixed together, you're going to love this. Put it this way, if you like honey barbecue wings, you're going to like raisins in your ground beef. So just trust me. I cooked my beef for about 20 to 25 minutes on low heat. I threw in some boiled eggs, that's optional, and I'm getting way too comfortable on camera. I should have sliced those eggs in nice little pieces. Next year, I'll probably serve and take pictures of my food on plastic plates. I love serving people's food on plastic plates, except mine. So this part is very simple. You want to take about ½ cup of mashed potatoes, flatten them out, and place about 3 tablespoons of filling inside. Then you just want to cover them up and roll them into a ball. If you get a few little holes, just cover them up with more mashed potatoes. It's that simple. Let's do one last one, but this time we're going to add an entire egg slice. That's usually my favorite way, but you may do it however you want. So this recipe gave me exactly 9 medium-sized potatoes. I don't want to call them large because I've seen bigger, and I don't want to call them small because I've seen itty-bitty ones at restaurants that are just adorable. If you want more, just double the recipe. Okay, so here I have 2 eggs. To it, I added some all-purpose flour, and this is going to be our coating for our potatoes. Can you use breadcrumbs? You can, but this is just how I always do it, and they always come out super crispy and perfect. I fried these in vegetable oil for about 8 minutes altogether. Make sure to cook the potatoes in batches. You don't want the temperature of the oil to drop. This is what my stuffed potatoes look like. They look good, but they tasted amazing. I suggest you serve these with some hot sauce. Hot sauce is almost mandatory for these, and I suggest you serve them right away.
These were just too good. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for watching.